Welcome to Remarkable Romania. In this week's video, we're going to be looking at behind the scenes on a full photography tour day with the group, taking in some of Timisoria and Arad as we kind of photograph some hidden gems, beautiful architecture, Art Nouveau, interesting stairwells, and of course, abandoned stuff along the way too. We're going to talk you through some of the shots that I create and show you what it's like to join me on tour here in Romania. Been up here quite a while now actually. We're waiting for two of the participants to actually return back to the airport to pick up their luggage that didn't arrive yesterday. So we've had an extended time in the church, and that's kind of cool because what it's enabled me to do is be able to kind of do the kind of typical shot with the other guys and then try and think outside of the box a little bit. So what I've actually done is I've actually used some of this kind of grate here, this grill, as a foreground interest for a wider shot. So I've gone 17mm, tilt shift, pano, left, middle, right, but with that all in it, showing the arch above. So it's going to be quite a large shot, but lots of interest. The other thing I managed to do while I was up there was photograph kind of like a little self-portrait of everybody. I could basically put them in the center of the shot, and every single person down below basically has a little minimal figure. I'll put them shots on the screen as well. We're going to move on now to the next location, which again proves to be hopefully cracking light. It's pretty warm already in Romania, and we're looking forward to what's going to be a pretty cool week. You can tell this guy lives in the UK. Look, he's sunbathing. End of the first day actually. And we're actually photographing an amazing looking mausoleum. The light's nice and low. We've been inside, been here a couple of times before. We're actually photographing sort of lights nice and soft, glowing in the foreground down here. I tried first of all going behind some trees, some grass just down here. I was trying to basically get some sort of foreground interest to kind of frame the subject. I thought it looked quite cool, but the way that I was kind of positioning myself, it wasn't kind of working, wrapping around enough. I've done it, I've photographed it. If it comes out, I'll put it on the screen, but I don't think it's going to work that well because of focus stacking. There was a lot of layers to it, too many leaves in the foreground. So now I'm going for just a more simpler kind of straight on. Well, it's not straight on, but it's a kind of off to one side. So when you're photographing architecture, this sort of off to 1 degree. So this is like a 2-point perspective. You've got two sides of the architecture showing. You want a dark side and you want a light side. And that's kind of what we're doing here. Is you've kind of got one light side and one dark, and that gives it that kind of dimension. And that's kind of what we're looking to do. A lot of the group were over here to start with. And now a bunch of them have gone over there to photograph and try and get a starburst going on, which I think must be quite successful because they've been there a while. But the rest of us, we're kind of here still living the dream. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get the birds to move. There's a lot of pigeons living in there, obviously, and they come back and forth and fly around it, and to get shots with them in it kind of is the idea, really. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm going to photograph a little bit more. Okay, so I think I've managed to get something. I'm going to wrap up here for today, and we'll continue again on day number 3. Tomorrow's a long drive, and actually we're just visiting some kind of rural areas, and I want to continue this particular episode on day number 3 because the architecture, like I said earlier, in Arad is fantastic, and I think it will bode well. We'll give you some tips on photographing grand structures. So this is Florin, he's my driver here in Romania. Yes. As you can see, he's dressed like an idiot.
Yeah, I'm an idiot, so I'm dressed like an idiot. So
it's 30 degrees and he's dressed in a raincoat. Yep. But we are going to the mountains. Is it raining in the mountains?
No.
Is it snowing?
It's raining, it's snowing.
It's raining in your heart.
Yeah,
it's raining in your heart.
Yeah, it's okay. Christmas all the time in my heart. So
Christmas in his heart, right. So he's a good guy, as you can see, he's a little bit mental, but that's okay. We can deal with mental. We're all pretty mental to come and do this kind of photography. Okay, welcome back. It's day number 3 now, actually, and we are starting the day today in a huge synagogue in Arad. Now, this one's quite interesting because it's kind of got like a window on one side, so the light is quite difficult. I've been here a few times before. You can see this harsh light coming in just over here. So I've just been helping people frame up. Easier way to do it, of course, away from the light, looking at the actual architecture, and then into the light with the light rays coming in is much more challenging, but of course can give it a wow factor if you get it right. There is a kind of morning glow going on inside the building. And I'm going to try and do something a bit different. Of course, I've been here before. I'm going to use the upstairs platforms first, capture something. I'll put my old shots from here as well on the screen afterwards, and then we're all going to go downstairs together to go upwards to shoot the ceiling, which of course in itself is a technical challenge. People usually get this one quite wrong. So one of the things that's really difficult inside a space like this is your tripod position, which of course is crucial then to the composition you're trying to get overall. You can see here cars in this kind of crazy position. Because you're trying to get, sometimes you don't want too much of the pews in the shot in the foreground, and other times you want to kind of include it and have a snippet of it so it kind of looks interesting to your composition overall. But ultimately, the main thing is trying to get that ceiling into the shot, which is the battle from this particular position. The two main positions, left and right, are the easiest ones to do, but by far the right-hand side is much easier to compose, straighten up, away from the window. You can see here, same problem. Wherever you stand, basically, you've got to be a little bit careful with your feet. It's an old synagogue, and you can see it's just constantly a battle of tripod position. So I'm going to opt for the 17mm. Nice and easy. Good.
Hello.
Hello. I've got the ball head on here, but I'm going to take the ball head off because we're going to switch back to geared head, make my life a little bit easier. I've got both with me because I've been doing another video about the actual tripod itself, but I haven't finished it yet, so I have to keep switching between. Eventually I won't be travelling with both, obviously, and for now I'm just going to put this one on. This is going to give me more control, of course, over the shot if I need to do any fine adjustments, but more importantly I find it much more solid, locked in here, with the weight of my gear sitting on the top. The reason why I want to position over here is because I'm trying to get something with the arch in, and I've done something much simpler last time I came here. This time I'm looking for something a little bit more creative, you know. I'm going to look to bring this tripod down and then shift up, just so we get a glimpse of that ceiling. And I'm kind of happy where I am. You know, just a quick test. Some lovely light coming in, and if I shift up to the top, our ceiling shot is you're not gonna see the full ceiling, but we are gonna see the arch framing it from here. And it's going to lead through to the back and the light rays. It's a complicated scene, actually. There's probably a little too much in it, and that's also what makes it difficult. It's a good one. I'm going to change up my position, see if I can get something else from here too, while the light rays are kicking off the way they are. I'm going to step further forwards and try and do less of these pews, less of a complicated scene. We got into this position, and of course the guys are trying to shoot at the same time. I photographed the wide shot before on the other side of the synagogue, and it works better in my opinion because you're not pointing towards the window. The window is a complicated shot. I do love the light rays that are coming in. I've caught them in the previous shot, so what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to totally switch out the 17mm, and I'm going to go as far as 35 because I'm going to put my 24mm on with an extender and just look to get the chandelier light behind coming in behind it, which looks fantastic. I don't see this as so much of a leading shot, but more of a sort of shot that you would put probably in a set, complementary shot, that kind of thing. Because it's literally going to be a condensed version showing the light and showing the chandelier. Now we can do this in portrait or landscape orientation. I'm going to opt for portrait, and I'm going to opt for literally just a segment. I'm going to pull the trigger, ISO 400. I'm still f8, I haven't changed the settings at all. But I've just gone in 35mm, and from this position I can actually just tweak, fine tune, move my composition about, and just keep trying to get something that just softly shows that light coming in. Simple, really, really easy. I'll put those shots on the screen. Yeah, it's a good one, good start to the day. So the guys have been photographing the ceiling here from down on the ground floor, and they've done a pretty good job from what I can see, but the key takeaways here for you guys is where your tripod's positioned is really important. It's important to the whole shot, making sure your camera's nice and vertical on the tripod and then positioning it really, really well. A lot of people just get hooked on the LCD and they only think about the composition in the back of the camera. If you actually step away from it for a minute, in fact, you could even take your camera off the tripod completely, position the tripod perfectly, then put your camera on. That all helps to get a nice composition in the back of the camera. You can see here, Carlos has got a really nice level, flat shot. He's been on a couple of weekends with me now, so he's started to nail these ceilings. That all helps to get your composition really good. Ceiling shots are really great when you post them, but they need to be in context with the building, so they're a good second edition. Now, underexposing the ceiling is key here as well, because actually we've actually been capturing these light rays coming in the room, which of course play a huge part in the image, and without the fact that they're there can be quite challenging lighting conditions, as you can see here in video. It's a case of underexposing, zooming in through your frame, maybe 35mm. Too close or come in too far and they're out. You sort of want something around this position to get a nice shot. Okay, so that pretty much wraps me up for today. I think that's going to be enough for this video. I'll put also my shots from Arad, the city of Arad, into the end of this video, and I hope you enjoy them, including the ones from last night, April, and last December when I came for the first time. And the Art Nouveau entrances, doors and windows last night, and the colours of the building in particular with the soft, even light was pretty fantastic. I'll include those images now. Until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. It's been a pleasure to have you along for our journey here in Romania, and we've got much more to come. It's going to be great.